Welcome to Kavala, a city in northeastern Greece on the coast of eastern Macedonia. The city was founded in the late 7th century BC, mostly due to its rich deposits of silver and gold in the area. Among those taking advantage of these resources was King Philip II of Macedon, who was the father to Alexander the Great. And Kavala actually has an airport that is called Alexander the Great. The area that we are walking through right now is the Old Town. See some fishing nets here. Kavala for a long period of time was primarily a fishing village. And the Old Town here is situated on the peninsula of the city. Kavala sits in the location of the Ignatia Road. Today that's the main national highway going through Greece. But during the Roman Empire, this was the main military road through the empire. And this led to Kavala flourishing economically to service the Roman Empire. This would have been between the years of 200 BC all the way to 42 BC, before the defeat of the Roman Empire in the Battle of Philippi. Under the authority of the Roman Empire, Kavala was a base for Brutus and Cassius. When I say BC, that means before Christ, which is Jesus. And in fact, the apostle Paul landed in Kavala in his first voyage through Europe. After the fall of the Roman Empire, it was the Byzantine Empire who stepped into the area, and they fortified the city from quote-unquote barbarian raids. And the early fortifications were the fortress walls that we saw earlier at the beginning of the video, which sit at the top of the peninsula of Pangaea. The Byzantine Empire emperor at the time refortified the city in the 8th century. To protect Kavala from the ever-expanding Bulgarian Empire that eventually conquered the city in the year 834 and held it until the year 1197. And then in the early 1300s, Kavala and much of the region around it was conquered by the Ottoman Empire, who ruled the area, Kavala included, for over 500 years afterwards. So all the way up until the early 1900s, so almost 600 years. And here we have a Ottoman style building. So this large Ottoman complex that we're walking along here was called the Imaret. This is a building that had many different purposes. Some of them being religious, some of them being educational, and philanthropic. So in addition to being like a church, a school, it was also a place for poor people who did not have a place to stay to live. And during this period, Kavala prospered quite well. One of the notable residents to have been born and raised in Kavala during this time was Muhammad Ali. No, not the boxer, but one of the more important Ottoman rulers of the era. Ali was in charge of Egypt, Sudan, and other areas of the Ottoman Empire. A large part of the city's success during the Ottoman era can be attributed to the city's aqueduct, which was built by the orders of Suleiman the Magnificent, the Ottoman ruler of the era. And the massive aqueduct would take water from the higher points of the city and of the area, and it would distribute it throughout the city. And there had already been an aqueduct before the Turkish forces came to the city, but in conquering the city, so much of it was destroyed that the basically rebuilt the aqueduct in a much larger fashion than what the city had previously. And today it is one of the city's most distinguishing factors, if not the symbol of the city. During the Second Balkan War, which was in the early 1900s, the Greek Navy liberated Kavala, thus making it part of Greece, as was signed in the Treaty of Bucharest. But in 1916, Bulgarian troops advanced on the area, and the Greek troops surrendered. And this led to military revolt in Thessaloniki, which then led to the establishment of the Provisional Government of National Defense, which eventually led to Greece's entry into the First World War. And then following the Greco-Turkish War, which took place between 1919 and 1922, the city had a resurgence of prosperity. And this was due to the influx of labor from all of the ethnically Greek people coming back into the country from Turkey. And this development was industrial and agricultural, the main crop being tobacco. And many of the tobacco producing plants and buildings from that era have been preserved and can be found in Kavala today. During this interwar period, Kavala had become the fourth largest city in Greece, after Athens, Thessaloniki, and Patras. And it was also during this time that Kavala elected a communist mayor, which garnered the city a nickname with the press and that nickname was Little Moscow. And then during World War II, after the fall of Athens to the Axis forces, Kavala was also conquered by Bulgaria, who was on the Axis side of the war. And as was often the case during World War II, the Jewish community of Kavala was rounded up and sent to extermination camps, the majority of which dying there. And after World War II, the economy in Kavala declined drastically, which led to many people immigrating out of the city. But since then, Kavala's economy has recovered, largely thanks to sea-related industries like fishing and offshore drilling for gas. So I hope you've enjoyed this city tour and history of Kavala. This channel also has videos of some other interesting cities in mainland Greece, such as Thessaloniki in the center of the country and Ioannina in the northwestern part of the country. I also have some longer videos on the channel called Journey Through Western Greece and Journey Through Eastern Greece, where I bicycled through the country and documented via video. In these videos you can see or get a better sense of what Greek culture is like, what the people are like, and how beautiful this country is. I was in Greece as part of a larger journey, bicycling through Central and Eastern Europe. Before that, I bicycled from Cape Town, South Africa, up to Nairobi, Kenya. So bicycling through half of Africa, going up the east. And before that, I bicycled from Canada, where I'm from, all the way down to southern Patagonia in Argentina and Chile. And all of those videos from those adventures are available on this very same YouTube channel, Hum of the Earth. And if you'd like to see an interactive map of everywhere that I went and everything that I got to see and do, I have that available over on my website, followthehumoftheearth.com. where you can click on the different locations and see the various blog posts and videos that I've made of these places. And if you'd like to follow my continuing adventures, once again bicycling through Central and Eastern Europe, you can do so by clicking on the red subscribe button below the video and then clicking on the bell to be notified when new videos come out. Alright, so I think that's gonna do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.